just how important was it to you guys to maintain and honor the traditions with built here?
Well, Penn State wrestling is it's a special thing. We knew coming in here that was one of the major draws was just the people and the simplicity and love of the program, and Coach Lorenzo is as good as human beings get. Just salt of the earth, hardworking. And he's a big part of the reason the program has the support that it has. It's just because of the great job he did and the relationships that he built and just the love of the sport that he created. We want to try to just be able to add what little bit we can, to what he did. Obviously, Fritz, Coach Sunderland, and everyone before him. But it means a lot to us.
Speaking on love of the sport, what does it also mean to you to be able to pack 12,000 fans in a stadium like the Bryce Jordan Center just to watch you guys wrestle?
Yeah, that's cool. We enjoy getting over there. It's a different energy. I think our event staff did a really nice job. And we hope to wrestle well and entertain people and try to get them to want to come back. I think Monday night is a really tough sell, especially this time of the year with a snowstorm and day after the Super Bowl, that kind of stuff. So we're happy with and thankful that the people that showed up did, and the guys. We knew Rutgers would be a scrappy match. They always are, and so a lot of tough matches, and overall our guys did fine, wrestled well, and just moving on.
When you have a guy like Terrell who has been in and out of the lineup the last 2 years, he probably wants to be in every single duel. But when he can't be, but he has success like he had last night, do you use that as an example for some guys that might be in a similar situation as him?
Well, I think he just keeps getting better. I mean, he's been in and out of our lineup since he was a freshman. He's been in big matches, and he's always competed really well. He's very consistent. He prepares for every match, as if he's going to wrestle, and that's a pretty rare thing. His weight's always right where it needs to be. He's warming up. You can see that he's locked in and focused. So he's a pretty special individual, and it's great to see him be able to go out there and do what he did. He's had a great year. He's had some really good wins. It's not a surprise to anybody in our program. He's been here and we've seen him, and he's put a lot of time in, and he's put a lot of time in, as we saw yesterday, on top with Coach Cunningham, and just poised, and we love having him in the program. He's a incredibly valuable piece of what we're doing.
Cael seemed to take a pretty big hit on the mat return there. And it seemed like he was his offense kind of got stalled for the rest of the match. Is there anything about him at all?
He'll be fine, but he was definitely concerned, coming off the mat, and but our doctors saw him right away. Luckily, Sebastianelli was there, and Dan Monthly's. You don't compare people, but there's not a better trainer in the country. So so he'll be fine. But I think he was definitely concerned, thinking that he did something more than he did. Thankfully, so, he'll be good.
When you have a guy like Tyler kind of step up to after what happened with Shane, how soon do you guys as a staff start thinking about the implications for next year's lineup? When you have, maybe you didn't expect to use Tyler in the way that you did this year, but he's had some success, and Shane will be back.
It's all depends on the kids, if they, and I think more and more now they come in and they're ready to go. Josh Barr was ready to go yesterday. We were trying to figure out how we were gonna work things out, just because people were sick, and like I said, Aaron was sick, and really appreciated him jumping in there anyways, and Barr was ready to roll, and Lucas was obviously ready to go. So those guys they're ready. They want to wrestle, and it's just when that opportunity comes, I think it's you take advantage of it and give them that chance. Now, if they want to do it, but I think for the most part, these kids want to wrestle, and K-Sec made it very clear right away that he was planning on starting this year. and trying to find his way into the lineup. And that's what it takes. If you have to talk somebody into wanting to wrestle, it's probably not the right thing, right? But he was 100%, planning on being the guy and competing this year.
Being that you've been around wrestling for so long, does that show that wrestling is now kind of becoming a year-round sport as opposed to just being in the winter and stuff because of the success that these guys are being ready as freshmen, true freshmen?
Yeah, I think the sport has definitely evolved, and it's advanced to where these kids are training with high-level kids. I mean, they're in here at RTC workouts at early ages as soon as they qualify. Obviously, KSAC, spent a lot of time with at M2 with David Taylor's club. So I think the kids are definitely more prepared, and just they're ready to go. I mean, generally, however many years ago, high school kids have no exposure to college-age training partners, coaching, let alone the NLWC that they're spending time with. So, yeah, I think things have changed a little bit. I don't know as far as sports are concerned. I still wouldn't just choose one sport and go with it until as late as I possibly could. I think it kind of maybe limits your overall highest peaks based on your approach. Obviously, it's just unique with each kid and each family. But yeah, you're seeing a lot where right away, kids are trying to specialize in one sport. And I'm not saying I'm an advocate for that in any way, but they're definitely ready to go. I think they could be ready playing other sports at the same time, but you definitely have to have the best training partners and coaches you can find.
When you look at Sunday, I mean, the matchups, it could be your probably toughest match of the year. What do you see when you look at Nebraska?
Well, I think Nebraska is, a lot of these Big Ten teams have all been very similar. We just have to go be ourselves and wrestle and, score those tough points and win tough matches because, they do have a really good team, and they always do. Nebraska's always a really tough team. But yeah, so we're looking forward to that match. I think, it's not like a surprise or anything, looking at them coming into the season and what they've done. For as long as I've been involved in college wrestling, they're always one of the top programs, yeah.
Coach, what's impressed you the most about Lucas Cochran at this point in the season, especially with the fact that he's wrestling up the heavyweight?
Yeah.
He's got 2 MMA wins in the past month. And how does he game plan for something like that? Because it's not like he's going from 74 to 84. He's going from 97 to heavyweight, giving up dozens of pounds.
Yeah, I think Lucas is really good. I think he's even figuring out just how good he is, and he wrestled in a couple open tournaments in the last month, I'd say, and really went out there to wrestle to dominate, and that's kind of what it takes. Great athlete, as you can tell, good feel, really good technique, and he's gotten really good with his hand fighting. He was able to control a larger opponent and kind of dictate the pace. So more than anything, I'm just excited for the confidence boost for him, just because we've known he's really good and he's got a lot of potential and he's just getting better. And but yeah, that was a great opportunity. I was super happy for him to be able to get out there and wrestle in that match. And we would have been confident had we thrown him in there at 97 too. Just because he's obviously he's really tough. But the more experience for him, the better.
Is he regularly wrestling a lot bigger guys in the room to get that feel, to be prepared for that, or can you not do that a whole lot?
Yeah, it's tough to do that. It's still a lot of his technique. Technique will beat strength in a lot of ways. But technique and strength. That's a better combination. And size. But yeah, his technique's very good. We don't have a lot of really big guys in the room. But he wrestles with big, small. He's one of those guys that can kind of go with anybody. He spent some time this year with Greg, which has been good. Greg's just a different animal altogether. But yeah, the more time he spends up there, I think he has that option. He's obviously a 97 pounder. He was thinking about going down to 84, I think, recently. But he's got that body type where he could go any weight and do really well.
We know you guys are a process that leads up to the postseason, making sure these guys are peaking at the right time.
Yeah.
Did it have to change at all this year with the stretch of matches that you guys have had now with Ohio State and then Iowa and Nebraska? You know, because you don't face quote unquote easier teams, I guess you could say, in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, we just kind of go with the flow, and whatever schedule you get, you just have to adjust and just kind of get to know your kids and student athletes enough that you can make adjustments for them. But yeah, when you have, some of the best teams just back to back to back to back, I think it's a great challenge for our kids and something that I think they get excited for, and we'll see. Every year is unique, everything's different, and we have a history of really wrestling great in those big moments, but it's still every individual's choice to go do that. It's up to them. They're the ones that have to go out there or get to go out there and score the points and to go attack their goals. So, we're just here really to support them and give them our best advice and train them up the way that we feel is in their best interest. But ultimately, it's up to them. They're still kids, and so, I think we're going to have a fun postseason, but it's sports, anything can happen. You got to go make things happen.
Coach, how do you fend off complacency, milestones, winning streaks, all these different things? People can fall into the trap of like, hey, this is enough, we've reached the mountaintop, and kind of let off the gas. For yourself personally, and to keep the team moving forward and the individual wrestlers, just how do you fend off that kind of mindset that can suddenly creep in when it's like, whoa, we've accomplished so much, when is enough enough?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big challenge in life, I guess, right? You see the patterns and the ups and the downs, and when pressure's on and when it's off, or when you're, and I think for me personally, I don't have any problem with that because I don't focus on those things. I'm not worried about, of course, I hate losing. I want to be the best team. I want to think that our best teams are always coming, as a coach and as a program. But I'm thinking more about performance. I'm not looking back at these matches like, oh, well, we won this one by a point. That's great. We're looking at, like, how can our kids get better? How can we get their minds to where they can wrestle a little bit more freely or whatever. We're not worried about the wins and the losses as much as we are just about, which I think that's a higher standard. And you can avoid the ups and the downs that you're going to get if you're thinking about and judging your success off of wins and losses, right? There's a higher standard, and that's what we try to focus on. I know that's what we focus on as a staff. We're just consistent. Whether we win the Nationals or not, we'll be in here Monday at 1:30 at the NLWC. So, but it's a heck of a lot more fun to win. So, anything we can do to do that, we'll do the work. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.